This week on the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, a woman splits up with a 300-year-old pirate ghost husband, a Christmas movie bracket, and Chris Litton from Maple Street Biscuit. All that and more on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's two guys take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Busted Knuckle studio right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. I'll be your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you, as always, but before we begin, let me introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. That's right, I am talking about the Pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue one, 2016's Honorable Mention Husband of the Year, the inventor of the Redneck Egg Roll. Give it up on old mic number one, it's Mojo!
Thanks for tuning back into this episode of the podcast. You have reached the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. As mentioned before, you can find us at the Facebooks at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. Let's see, Twitter and Instagram at SFP Radio. You can also go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SFP Radio, and also our Patreon link at patreon.com/SFP Radio. If this is your first time listening, make sure you subscribe to us. Go to our Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and now we're on Spotify. So you can find us there. Make sure you subscribe, give us a like, share our episodes that you like with your friends and family on the social medias, and please give us a review. We really would appreciate that.
I mean, in the past 2 weeks, we've taken over iHeartRadio and Spotify.
Yeah.
By taking over, I mean we've actually got our stuff on there.
We may be taking over Rush Limbaugh's spot pretty soon.
I mean, it's pretty close. If you look in the iHeart listings, we're nowhere to be seen. But we're coming up, buddy.
We're there.
We're chasing you, Rush. We're going to take you down. Hey, just a couple of things we want to give some shout-outs to our new listeners in Panama, across the pond in the UK, and Lula, Georgia. I have no idea where that's at, but
that's
welcome to the show.
Definitely a southern name for a southern city in the southern state.
Yes, sir. Listen, I'm thinking about, when I hear Lula, I'm not trying to, poke fun, but I'm thinking about, Big Mama what, just sitting on the front porch.
I think we mentioned this before. Think about the names that they no longer use anymore, that you never hear. And Lulu is one of those names that's not around anymore. You don't hear any modern children that have that name. So
yeah, that's true.
Very unique.
That's true. Hey, if you want to hang out with us, email us at sfpradio@gmail.com. And you yourself could be hanging out with us with the Bad Mother Smokers Smoking Hot Seats right here with us on Wednesday nights while we record the show. Again, we'll give you a bottle of water, a heads up, and just probably a nice warm hug.
And a high five.
Based on gender and what you feel comfortable with. All right. So I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week, Mojo, how you be doing?
I have decided that I will no longer be the nice person that I am on the highways during this construction for the next century that we're going. I will, especially this time of year with Christmas.
Sure.
People feel like they're entitled for you to let them in, and they do creative things to wiggle the way in. So I posted a meme on on Facebook.
Right.
I will run you off the road before I let you in. Especially if you have the courtesy, you have a 2 mile down the road, you see the arrow merge left.
Right.
So everybody starts lining up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be that jerk. And then all of a sudden, so that right lane's free. And you got probably a half a mile before the lane finally ends. So, and you see that guy barreling up the road, passing the whole line, everybody, and he expects you to let you in. So from now on, no, sir.
Have you seen the comments, though, on that post?
Yeah.
People are very upset that you're not applying the zipper method to that.
But the zipper method's okay. But but like I said, when you have 2 miles stretched back of one lane, it's kind of single filed, and you have that other person's opened up, barreling down the road like Smoking the Bandit, trying to skip the line and merge in.
But I think that's the whole point of the zipper is that,
no, that's not the
that
zipper.
you wait to the last minute and then pull in. Like if you have one and the other, it would be like a zipper.
But what I'm saying is you have 400 cars lined up and you have that one guy.
The
that's
other
not
400 though should be.
Well, that's true, but a lot of times on a busy stretch, you have people that want to be courteous and like, all right, well, I'm just going to follow the leader. So, but you have that one guy in like I said, in the Smokey and Bandit car who comes and just forget
top
it.
Down,
I'm more important, so I'm going
to. The thing that drives me nuts is when, like on Poplar Tent, when you're coming down, and then there's a clear double yellow line, but the turn, the left turn is way up ahead, and people drive across the yellow line and pull all the way through. Like that's where I have no sympathy for you. You have to wait until there's no straight line where it's dotted where you can pull in. That's where I get very angry. I get uncontrollably angry when that happens. I start screaming, and just because I calm down, but it makes me so mad.
Yeah, I agree. I get it. We just have no etiquette and manners for driving.
No. I think we should make them go back to horse and buggy.
There you go.
You lost your driving privileges, but there's that.
So how you be doing?
I'm good. I've been able to catch up on a couple of my shows.
Okay, what's that?
One in particular is the Curse of Oak Island.
Oh, they still haven't found it yet, have they?
They have been looking for 6 seasons for this treasure. And
they have found their treasure and contractual obligations on the behalf of the TV channel.
Oh, yeah. I read an article today where the head guy makes $500,000 a season for that show. So, I mean, they have no incentive to find this thing at this point.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to keep digging and
dig a teaspoon a year, milk this thing out for as long as possible.
But at this point, and I said this last season, but if they don't find it this season, I'm done.
So what's kind of your wrap-up for this season? So spoiler alert, if you watch that show, you haven't caught up. So what's the...
Well, the thing that they've done, again, I don't understand this process, is they both work in energy and... mapping of the land to try to figure out what's underneath.
Topographical or geographical.
Yeah. They both work in that, but then all of a sudden this season they're doing a seismic 3D image. Why didn't you start off with that on season 1? But they're like, oh, well, we found it this season. And what they said was they used a really like a 6-foot wide drill. And they were going down, and what they said happened was when they were going down with a 6-foot wide drill, that it pushed the treasure chest further down.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then now they've got to use a smaller seismic one that doesn't do as much damage.
It massages the dirt.
Yeah, and so this year they're going to find it, by goodness.
Well, I hope they do.
And so now there's a 2-hour episode finale coming up. I'm pretty sure that if they found it, news would have broke.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we found the Grail.
Yeah.
So,
well, because that time they found that quote unquote Roman sword in the ocean or nearby.
Oh, yeah.
They posted it right on Instagram and Twitter immedially. So, so that they would probably post something on that. But I think they probably have better luck just using a magic 8-ball. Trying to find the spot on the island versus what they're doing.
But good gracious, I mean, how long?
That piece of real estate has had to have more money per square inch thrown at it.
Yeah.
In probably the last 50 years than most pieces of property on North America especially.
There's this place called Smith's Cove where it's just a cove, and they have built like a 35-foot wall around it so that they can dig it out and like a cofferdam so that no water can get in. 35-foot wall. Y'all, like how much money is this costing?
Right.
By the time they find the treasure, if they sell it on eBay, they're going to break even, I think.
Well, I think the show's going to get canceled eventually.
It's going to have to.
And all of a sudden, you're going to have some like 11-year-old kid, Boy Scout out there trying to earn a patch. He's going to fall down a hole and discover, Blackbeard's booty. So, yeah,
I'm just a sucker for it. I can't stop.
But it is kind of addictive but also it's addictive because of how they do the programming of it. They always end on that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And especially when you binge watch.
I did 3 today.
I'm already 4 hours in. Why not one more?
Yeah.
Type thing. Yeah. So, I'll cut myself off at 3 a.m. Even though I got to be up at 6, I'm gonna cut myself off at 3. So, but but it's an interesting show. But also just the history of it. I mean, FDR.
Yeah.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
He was on that island.
Yeah, he actually spent money. He believed it too.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting island.
The evidence that they've come out with makes you think like there's actually something there, but just trying to get to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like the coconut husk.
Yeah. How did that get down there?
That's not. I don't think
bones.
I don't think coconut husk is indigenous to Canada.
No. So. Who knows? I'm in for another 2 hours, and then I think I'm cutting myself off of that.
Is that the end of the season? 2 hours?
Yeah, I think so.
Just wait till next season.
Yeah, then I'll be like, hey, I haven't
that's
seen this
right.
in a while. All right, so let's go into some wacky news. Speaking about horrible traffic and drivers, today an armored truck spills cash on a New Jersey highway, causing chaos. Police said at least 2 crashes resulted when an armored truck sent $100 bills flying on a stretch of a busy highway. Videos from the scene Thursday show people getting out and running and collecting the $100 bills.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Police said that there's an audit that's going to be conducted and to determine how much money was lost when the truck's rear doors came open. And this is the part that owns me. Investigators are asking anyone with video to come forward, and anybody who picked up cash are urged to return the money.
Yeah, you can find that cash officer at Amazon headquarters because I spent all of it for Prime deals.
If, say, for example, they lost, we'll just make it even, $1,000. Mm-hmm. How much of that $1,000 you think they're going to get back?
Zero.
Yeah,
that no logical person who come into a windfall of mystery money.
Mm-hmm.
Well. Plus, there is a law established for those people. It's called finders keepers, losers weepers.
Clearly, they haven't heard about that since kindergarten.
Yeah, I think that's been held up by the appellate court and also the Supreme Court. So yeah.
Oh, I mean, but the thing that kind of worries me though is they're asking people with videos to come up so they can be like, aha, John Doe, you took that $100.
That's right. And I don't know.
Well, if you found the $100 and they said, "Hey, give it back," would you give it back?
I'm going to be honest with you and say no.
Probably not.
Yeah, because like if I'm carrying a trailer full of stuff and something falls off my trailer and just laying in there in
that's a good point.
The highway, I mean, by the time I get turned around and go get it, it's probably gone.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's my fault that I didn't tie it down. It's that me losing that's a direct result of probably a mistake that I made.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is an armored car. How does those doors just automatically fly open?
I think they probably need to investigate the armored truck because
right.
Either A, if it's a faulty lock, they can go back to the manufacturer, or B, it could have been like a disgruntled employee who's like on his way out. It was like, I'll show them. They forgot to add my overtime in this week, and bam. So I doubt it was just like, Sam forgot to lock the door back there. It was probably, you know what I'm saying? It was probably it's either probably a malfunction or something out of maliciousness. So
I don't know.
I wonder how much they are. I would really truly wonder.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's one of those things that you see in movies that you never would think that would happen.
Yeah.
As far as the money on the highway and people losing their minds, but it's once in a lifetime. So
yeah, I don't know. I would feel too guilty. I'd probably give it back. I would be like, they're going to come get me.
Yeah, I hear you.
This is going to be the one time. Be like, biggin.
That's the reason why I look up to you, because you're a man of conviction there.
So I'm no Mr. Morals, I'll tell you that. Did you have a wacky news?
I wonder what inspired this. I wonder if this lady found the worst Tinder advertisement ever. She swiped right when she should have swiped left. But here we go. Woman who claims to have wed a 300-year-old pirate ghost now says they have broken up. A woman who married the ghost of a 300-year-old pirate has now revealed that the couple is split. Amanda Lang, 46, first appeared in the spotlight when she legally married the Haitian pirate by a shaman priest earlier this year.
Oh, no.
She said she was tired of the physical world men and consequently found love in the ghost of an 18th century Haitian pirate until they revealed that they didn't work out with them.
I mean, he probably wasn't,
Yeah, it's just...
How did they consummate that marriage?
Well, she gets into that, which is kind of not suitable for work podcast, so unless we want to lose it. But, yeah, the pair got married on a boat off the Irish coast on the international waters. So did the pirate have papers? Did he get a visa?
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
Is he part of the caravan?
Is he now an Irish citizen?
Oh, yeah.
Because, he married an Irish citizen. So does he get benefits until he finds work? Or is he just going to continue pillaging?
Through.
Yeah. He's probably just going to continue, pillaging, burning.
Well, she was used to a certain lifestyle based on his income.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be interesting, though, going to the benefits office and say, like, my husband, he needs to qualify for benefits. Well, how old's your husband? 300 years old.
Well, I'm going to keep an eye on this because I clearly have married like Hugh Hefner, FDR, like anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take that.
So it's crazy.
Why did I go to guys, though? Well, I can't think of...
But imagine, like, marrying, like, quote, unquote, I'm married to FDR's ghost. Mm-hmm. I mean, then you walk up to his, like, great-great-grandchildren and be like, hey, I'm your grandmother?
Yeah.
I mean, the logic here. So, evidently, they need to maybe test her. But
this is where the part of the show where I continue to say we have lost our ever-loving minds.
So, she kind of explained that, so after it was over, she's just warning people to be very careful in dabbling with spirituality is not to mess with. She paid a whopping $6,000 to 6,000 pounds, so almost $7,000 to change her name legally, and worked as an impersonator of Pirates of the Caribbean character Jack Sparrow. She changed her appearance. Oh man, she's got a
little thing for pirates, eh?
Yeah,
I guess it's that pair to that wooden leg.
But on the beach on the boat when she got married to represent her husband, because obviously we couldn't see him in the physical world, because unless you throw a sheet over him, I guess. But she had a crossbones flagged to represent him being there. Mm. Crazy
lady.
Well, I guess we technically can't call them crazy because, it's just not politically correct now. So what would that be? Misunderstood?
This is what y'all. It's just y'all. You can't have nothing. You can't even have a husband ghost.
What if the ghost is confused and actually is, transitioning into the reality? I mean, I don't understand this.
Or what if some point the ghost gets up and is like, well, I'm going to the light today. I've had enough of you.
Yeah.
And just decides I'm out of here.
Is that a death benefit? Is that technically divorce? Does the spouse get alimony?
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
What happens? We need a divorce lawyer on the show to talk about this.
We're going to call Ghostbusters, evidently. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk the Christmas story. We're going to read that, and then we're going to have a Christmas movie bracket. Also, Chris Litton from Maple Street Biscuit will be in studio with us. All that and more on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We'll be right back. It takes a customer 3 seconds to decide whether to stay or leave your website. That's why a crisp, clean, and user-friendly website is one of the best ways to market and help and grow your business. At Webmerized Web Design, we offer that and much more. They pride themselves in offering their clients professional websites at affordable prices. Are you a small business? No problem. We can cater to small businesses by working with their clients every step of the way to meet their needs and expectations. Their number one goal is to partner with their clients to help and grow their business with a successful website. They work for every client, no matter the size. So if you'd like a great website, go to webmerize.com, WEBMERIZED.com, or you can check out their link on the sponsors link of our website. If you mention the word Biggin, you'll get 10% off your website design order. Again, webmerize.com. Check them out. All right, buddy. It's Christmas time.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Do you have any Christmas things that you guys do as a family?
Well, we've started doing a few years ago like Advent, but it's like some type of adventure or family event. Watch a movie, make cookies, things like that. So we've started doing that. We have every year we always watch The Christmas Story on Christmas or rerun on TBS. It's just something I've did since I was a child. Yeah, little things like that.
That's awesome.
So
good
we
deal.
We do a non-traditional Christmas Day dinner. This year we'll probably have steaks. Just something different because we do our big Thanksgiving dinner for friends and family. So yeah. How about you guys?
We'll go down to we'll do the Barnes family Christmas. My in-laws will go down. We're heading out there tomorrow. Yep, down to Georgia. Probably maybe close to Lula. So I'll try to go find our folks there. And then we'll come back on Christmas Day, have dinner with Dad, exchange gifts and that kind of stuff. So going to do that. One of the traditions that we do is sausage balls. Like I love sausage balls, good sausage balls.
I can eat 100 of them. Man.
Yeah, and the ratio for sausage to Bisquick.
Oh yeah.
I prefer more sausage than Bisquick.
Absolutely. It's like crab cake. You want more crab versus the filler.
Right. So, it's called, sausage ball, not, biscuit ball.
At least they're not sweaty.
Yeah, that is true. So we'll make those and have those together.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Please save me a few.
Oh yeah, I'll save you some. We get the sausage from Georgia, like from a hot pig.
Okay.
So that'll be good.
You get it from a hot pig.
Where not a physically hot pig. Just to be clear for those people that are listening that enjoy animals. Anyway, I
enjoy animals too, but usually between slices of bread or something.
Where they butcher the hog within 24 hours.
Right.
It's in the thing. So that's kind of our Christmas tradition. Yeah. So one of the things we are very passionate about on just our personal lives is just our faith. And Christmas is that time of year where we really celebrate the reason for the season.
Yeah, we can wind down and slow down. Yeah.
Calm down and realize this is the kickoff. I enjoy Christmas. Without Christmas, you don't have Easter, but Easter for me, for my faith, is where it's at. But one thing that we wanted to do is just read the Christmas story. And so, gather the family around. You can enjoy this maybe with the family together. So we will read from Luke chapter 2 from the Message, The Birth of Jesus. About that time, Caesar Augustus ordered a census to be taken throughout the empire. This was the first census when Quirinius was the governor of Syria. Everyone had to travel to his own ancestral hometown to be accounted for. So Joseph went up from the Galilean town of Nazareth up to Bethlehem in Judea, David's town, for the census. As a descendant of David, he had to go there. He went with Mary, his fiancée, who was pregnant. While they were there, the time came for her to give birth. She gave birth a son, her firstborn. She wrapped him in a blanket and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the hostel. There were the shepherders, camping in their neighborhood. They had set the night watch over their sheep, and suddenly God's angel stood among them, and God's glory blazed around them. They were terrified. The angel said, "Don't be afraid. I'm here to announce the great and joyful event that is meant for everybody worldwide. A Savior has just been born in David's town, a Savior who is the Messiah and the Master. And this is what you're looking for, a baby wrapped in a blanket, lying in a manger." At once, the angel was joined by a huge angelic choir singing God's praises. Glory to God in the heavenly heights. Peace to all men and women on earth who please him. As the angel choir withdrew into the heaven, the sheep herders talked it over. Let's go over to Bethlehem as fast as we can and see for ourselves what God has revealed to us. They left running, and they found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in a manger. Seeing was believing. They told everyone they met what the angels had said about the child, and all who heard the sheepherders were impressed. Mary kept all these things to herself, holding them dear deep within herself. The sheepherders returned and let loose, glorifying and praising God for everything that they have heard and seen. It turned out to be exactly what they've been told. So as that resonates, just take some time, relax, slow down, and understand that this is the birth of the Savior and the Lord. All right, so we are going to have some fun. At this point, we have got a Christmas movie bracket. You mentioned the Christmas Story is one of your favorites.
Yes.
And we have got 64 movies here
we go.
that we're going to go through. So
you can send all your hate mail to JT.
That's it. That's what you got to do. I'll leave this on the website if you guys want to, take this and play at home.
Do it as a family or something.
If you want. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve, so you ain't got nothing else to do.
Yep.
Be with your family, so might as well do the bracket. All right, so we have got in the Kris Kringle category, the 1 seed, It's a Wonderful Life, against 16 seed, Daddy's Home, and this is your personal request. Daddy's Home 2.
Yeah.
It's not the first one, it's the second one.
Second.
What makes the second one so good?
I think the stars involved. Actually, a great storyline.
Okay.
So I'm not going to break it out because I want to challenge people to watch it. A friend of mine challenged me to watch it, so it's just I think it's a great thing.
So out of those two, which one are you going to pick?
I'll admit this. I've never seen the whole It's a Wonderful Life all the way through. I've never seen it. So, the highlights of it. So, but I think both of them have such great stories though from that. But it's really a toss up.
Oh boy.
One. Yeah. It's got to be a Wonderful Life, I guess.
Wow, you're going to throw yours under the bus. I was about to give it to Daddy's Home 2, and I haven't even seen it. Just because black and whites, I don't know. But we'll keep it with It's a Wonderful Life.
I think the timeless message of, of redemption through Wonderful Life. I mean, It's Wonderful Life was not a hit movie at the theaters. Mm-hmm. It took time to gain traction, but the message just still rings true all this time later.
I do like Jimmy Stewart, though.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. All right, so It's a Wonderful Life. Not an upset there. Dr. Seuss, the 2000 version, versus Gremlins. I'm going to go with that. Jim Carrey freaks me out on that one, to be honest with you.
He freaks me out on a lot of things.
All right, Home Alone versus Four Christmases.
Home Alone.
Home Alone is the winner on that, but Four Christmases is a good movie. I enjoyed that.
I'm sure, but
you can't go up.
You got to watch Home Alone. With Macaulay Culkin smacking his face after shaving.
It's classic.
It's
classic. Miracle on 34th Street versus Babes in Toyland.
Well, Miracle on 34th Street, this is the 1957 version versus the mid-80s or early 80s, or was it late 80s? Yeah, I got to go with Miracle.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So that takes care of the Kris Kringle bracket. We're going to go over to the right-hand side. The number 1 seed is Elf versus, now this is going to be controversial, a 16 seed Love Actually.
That's what you're going with?
No, I'm saying that's the fight. So
it's got to be Elf.
I agree with you. My wife loves Love Actually, but I'm going to have to pull and say Elf.
Yeah, don't be a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
Careful, this is a family show.
Yeah, it's just a great movie.
Yeah, no, it's a classic. This one also is going to be a little controversial. Frosty the Snowman, a 4 seed, over Die Hard, a 5 seed.
Oh, no, you got that wrong. It's White Christmas.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
White Christmas. Sorry, White Christmas versus Die Hard.
As much as I love Die Hard,
ooh,
I got to go with White Christmas. Oh, it's all about the message. It's all about doing great for others. Selfless acts. So even though John McClane does some selfless acts in Die Hard, and he does, Hans Gruber does die his brutal death and saves the Takamine Towers, but
I love Die Hard.
I got to go with White Christmas.
For the spirit of Christmas, I will agree with you on White Christmas. All right, Frosty the Snowman, the cartoon claymation version, versus I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Frosty annoys me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the Rudolph claymation. Because you got so many like fun characters. But Frosty just seems like a whiner.
And he can't make it in Florida.
That's right.
So, all right. So I'll Be Home for Christmas. All right. Holiday Inn versus an awful movie, Jingle All the Way. And Jingle All the Way is with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that was probably one of the movies that he probably should have said no to.
Yeah.
But, I think as a major star, everybody has to have, just like a recording artist, they have to have a Christmas album.
Right.
You gotta have a Christmas movie. It's kind of like your magnus opus. So.
Yeah. All right. So what say you then?
Holiday Inn.
I'm going to go with Holiday Inn.
It's got Fred Astaire.
Yeah, that's
classic.
All right, so that takes care of our Father Christmas bracket. Next, we're going to the Santa Claus bracket, straight down. A number 2 seed, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation against Christmas Town, a 15 seed.
Yeah, that's got to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer on that one. This is the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas versus the Polar Express. This one could be a tough one.
I'm going to have to go upset Polar Express.
Ooh, Tom Hanks in that freaks me out, though.
It does.
It
does.
The whole animation to it.
But just the message of it, I don't know, I just enjoyed
that. But the Grinch, he had a very tiny heart, and it grew.
Right, but unfortunately, any Grinch movie now has been ruined by Jim Carrey.
Ooh, that's a good point. All right, I'll give you Polar
We can phone a friend if we have to tie break it. So.
Oh. All right, so we're going to the phones. We're going to call...
Tiebreaker.
It's the tiebreaker call.
Hey, bro.
Hey, Leon, you're on the show. We had a question for you.
Okay.
We're doing a Christmas movie bracket. We need to know which one you like better. Do you like How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 1966 or Polar Express?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay, that's it. That takes it.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so the Grinch won that one.
Wah, wah, wah.
You went down. All right, so the next one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer versus This Christmas.
Definitely Rudolph.
Rudolph. I'm good with that. And then the last one is the Tim Allen The Santa Claus versus the 1994 version of The Miracle on 34th Street.
Without a doubt, Santa Claus.
Yeah, he was funny in that one. Did you like Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Oh yeah, I think
yeah.
It was, you couldn't watch a lot of episodes, right. But
you couldn't binge
because it's the same
one.
thing. But I enjoyed it.
All right, so this is the St. Nicholas bracket on the East Division. The number 2 seed, A Christmas Story versus A Christmas in Connecticut. You're gonna have to go with A Christmas Story. I'm sorry,
no doubt.
All right, so the Muppets Christmas Carol versus Scrooged.
I want to go Scrooge.
I'm going to go Scrooge too. I enjoy the Muppets, but Bill Murray.
You can only take them so much.
Bill Murray.
That's great. Yeah, you got Rick Moranis from Ghostbusters. Right. You got Bill Murray. Yeah, just a classic.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Only Bill Murray could staple little antlers on the rats' heads.
I am sad Bill Murray is now a University of Louisville fan. I'll say that.
Did he get paid?
No, he's following the coach. Anyway, Charlie Brown Christmas versus A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I've got to go Charlie Brown.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer as well. Brown Christmas. That's a totally different movie there. All right, The Nightmare Before Christmas versus Christmas with the Cranks.
I've never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I don't think it's too Christmassy.
That stuff freaks me out. Like, I forgot, who's the director on that?
Tim Burton.
I can't stand Tim Burton. I just can't do it.
I got to do Christmas with the Cranks.
I will go with Christmas. You could put The Nightmare Before Christmas against Jingle All the Way, and I would still choose Jingle All the Way. So this one's Christmas with the Cranks. All right, and then we also know somebody with the last name Crank, so that was good. All right, so let's go back to the Kris Kringle quarterfinals. A Wonderful Life versus Gremlins.
Gotta go Wonderful Life.
Yeah, the classic Christmas story.
Yeah.
All right, and then Home Alone versus Miracle on 34th Street.
I got to go Miracle because I still cry every time I watch
Whoa.
it.
I think we're going to have to call. We're going to have to make a call.
All right.
Who we got?
Let's call my wife.
All right.
Yes.
Hello. This is Biggin, and you're on the show.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on 1 second.
She's got to get dolled up for the question.
Yeah, she got to put her face on.
Okay, we have a question for you.
Yeah,
here's our tiebreaker on the Christmas movie challenge. Home Alone versus Miracle on 34th Street.
Home Alone.
Oh,
wow.
The second upset. All right, thank you, my dear.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Didn't see that one coming.
You thought you were going to stack the box, and my friend, it backfired.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go back to our Father Christmas bracket. Elf versus White Christmas. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah.
Elf. Yep. I would agree with that one. And then we've got Frosty the Snowman versus Holiday Inn.
Let's go Frosty.
Was that right? Frosty beat I'll Be Home for Christmas?
No, I'll Be Home for Christmas.
I'll Be Home.
Sorry, my bad.
I couldn't read my own writing. So I'll Be Home for Christmas versus Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. All right. All right, down in our Santa Claus bracket, Christmas Vacation versus How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Christmas Vacation all the way.
Vacation. I have a feeling I know how this is going to turn out. All right, and then we've got Rudolph versus the Santa Claus. Ooh. Ooh. There's something about that claymation reindeer that I love.
I guess let's go reindeer again.
Yeah, I'm going Rudolph. All right. And then we've got The Christmas Story against Scrooged.
Ooh. Christmas Story.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. And then a Charlie Brown Christmas. There we go again. Versus Christmas with the Cranks.
Charlie Brown.
Brown. I'm going to go with Brown on that one. Okay. Whew. Back to our Kris Kringle. We have got It's a Wonderful Life versus Home Alone. Oh.
Home Alone.
You're going to cave on this one then, huh? Yeah. All right. Home Alone. All right. And then we've got Elf versus Holiday Inn.
Definitely Elf.
Elf. There we go. Vacation versus Rudolph.
Yep.
We're not going to need any tiebreakers for that. And then we've got A Christmas Story versus the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Definitely Christmas Story.
Okay. All right. So here we go. This is the final four. Home Alone versus The Christmas Story and Elf versus Christmas Vacation. Ooh.
All right, so let's tackle, which one is that? Home Alone first?
Alone.
Yep.
Versus A Christmas Story. Home Alone, you've got hijinks.
Right.
Now, let's also keep in mind that a family lost their child and left him at home.
But in The Christmas Story, you have fa-ra-ra-ra-ra.
Yes.
So.
And the sticking your tongue to the pole.
Oh, yeah.
The leg.
Yep.
I mean, so many wonderful memories.
I'm going to have to go Home Alone on this.
Christmas Story is a one that I've got to watch every year.
Right.
Home Alone, I'm like, I can take it or leave it.
Right. Well, you've kind of persuaded my feelings on that, so we'll go Christmas Story.
Okay.
Christmas
Story is going to the dance. Now, this is probably the hardest decision I've had to make all day. Elf versus Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I got to go National Lampoon's.
I've got to as well.
Just because it's got so many. I mean, Elf does too, but it just has so many classic one-liners. Yeah. Just Jelly of the Month Club. I mean, just so many things.
Buy yourself something real nice, Clark.
That's right.
Real nice.
That's right.
I'll be sure when we leave next month. All right. So here we go. The Christmas Story versus National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
National Lampoon's.
I can't deny it. You're right. So National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you have won.
And hopefully your bracket's matched up with ours, or you will not get the prize pack.
All right.
You already had that cued. You knew how this was going to work out.
Yeah, I did. I mean, you can't argue with it. It's such a great movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Just from the searching of the tree to the two bozos in the truck. Just so many good little things.
Where are you going to put that tree, Clark?
That's right.
Bend over and I'll show you. Don't talk to her that way. I wasn't talking to you.
So many great things. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, congratulations to National Lampoons for making our Christmas movie bracket. You are the official winner. And as Mojo said, I hope yours matched up with ours. If they didn't, let us know. Which one did you like the most? Which one moves you the most, I guess. All right, so we are going to take a break. And when we come back, Chris Litton from Maple Street Biscuit. I'm excited to have him on. We'll be back. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. All right, we are back, and you are listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. As promised, we have Chris Litton in studio with us. And you say, who is Chris? Let me tell you, he is the manager. What do you call it?
So we call ourselves community leaders.
Okay.
Managers tell people what to do, and community leaders change people's lives.
Ooh.
I'm just not in the business of telling people what to do. I want to impact people. So.
All right. So he is the community leader of the infamous Maple Street Biscuit.
Yeah.
So, Chris, welcome to the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, first, I want to hear a little bit about your story. I know we have kind of a similar shared past in Jacksonville. You know some of the people I know, and it was a really small world when you run into somebody and you're like, he's from Jacksonville. Hey, I'm from Jacksonville. Do you know so-and-so? Because, most people are like, you're not going to understand somebody or know somebody in a giant city like that.
Right.
But we actually do know somebody.
Yep.
So we know the Yeldells. Shout out to Eric. I grew up with him going to church. You know his dad, Bill Yeldell, pastor at where when I was there, it was First Baptist Church Mandarin. So how do you know Bill?
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember where we met. It may have been through the Jacksonville Baptist Association. The Jacksonville Baptist Association is just a great association, a network of churches working together to advance the kingdom of God. And so probably through that relationship, that's where I knew the majority of the pastors in Jacksonville. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And what were you doing in Jacksonville at the time?
So I was working with a church that was in the process of being revitalized, and I was the associate pastor for that church. It at one point was Hyde Park Baptist Church, and then a larger church in Fleming Island, South Jacksonville area. Okay. Had taken them over. That sounds so horrible.
It does. That sounds awful. Like, we won.
This church that was dying ultimately, humbly gave their keys up to a larger church that was healthy and said, hey, we believe that there's still kingdom work to be done here, and so we need help. And so we're going to surrender the keys, and you're in charge, and we're going to trust you and follow you and see what the Lord does. And so that church brought Jimbo Stewart in to be the campus pastor for a season. He's still there, I say for a season. And he was there for a year. And Jimbo was my youth pastor back in New Orleans. And so we had a good relationship. Okay. And he needed somebody that he could trust. He needed somebody that he knew would be detail-minded, because he's not at all. I love Jimbo, but he's not. And yeah, so but he also needed somebody who was young, who didn't need to make a ton of money. So
that's usually how it starts, right?
Yeah. I'm 22 years old, associate pastor, have no idea what I'm doing, but God in His mercy, we got to see that church go from 30 people to 150, 170, and to see a lot of growth in that season, and it was just a blessed time. And so, yeah, that was there for 3 years, and I loved every bit of it.
Very cool. And just so maybe our listeners might be interested. Like, how does that process, like if you have a dying church and moving them to something that's completely different, maybe something completely foreign to them?
Yeah, it's probably stagnant.
Yeah, and how was that process?
Painful.
Yeah.
The way I explain replanting and revitalization to people is that it's like planting a church but with baggage. Right, like you get.
Did you guys rebrand it or anything like that?
Yeah, we ended up at the third year of that process. My second year there, we ended up launching it out autonomously after we got healthy to be its own single standing church, and it was under the name of Redemption Church, and so still a part of the SBC and Southern Baptist Convention. So it was a great process, very healthy, and the Lord's still doing some mighty things there. So
that's awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. So what brought you here to Charlotte? You shared a little bit of your story before, but tell me the full story.
Yeah, so basically when I committed to Jacksonville, to Pastor Jimbo, I committed to 3 years, and he knew there was enough money in the budget to sustain me for a season, but it wouldn't be forever for there to be multiple full-time people. Now, if this church became 200, 300, 400 people, sure, we might be able to do that, but we just knew it wasn't there. And so when we went into the third year, just talking with the elders and the leadership of the church, I was over the budget. Like I knew that it wasn't there long term. So just volunteered. Hey guys, I can resign now if you want me to. We can do this for another year. Fulfill the 3 years. We could let's just pray. What do we want to do? Yeah. And so we prayed and we pursued it, and we felt like the Lord was saying, stay there for another year and just kind of keep tilling the ground, get the systems in place so that whenever I do step down, the church would be in a healthy spot and it wouldn't hurt. And so we did that. Meanwhile, my wife and I are just praying, saying, God, what's next? And we prayed that prayer for a while. But at the same time, a question that my wife and I often ask ourselves is, how can we leverage the gospel? How can we put the gospel on display in this season of life? And so as we're asking ourselves that, we both desire to have kids. And we just at this point we are both trying to knock out all of our student loans so that she could be a stay-at-home mom. It's a desire for us. And so as we're praying through that, somehow we get information about the foster care system. And so we end up going to a class about foster care, and it was just a moment where this is what the Lord's leading us to do. And so we went through several months of training and ended up getting certified in Florida to be foster parents. We get 2 kids that come into our house in the summer of 2017. And it was a great time. Loved hanging out and being able to foster and parent and shepherd the hearts of those children that needed just a temporary mom and dad. But it was through that process that we had one little one, 2 years old, was in daycare. He had 2 kids that were in his class that were also foster students, foster kids. And so I met their mother, who was a single mom, never before been married, and just felt like God had called her to be a foster parent. So my wife and her became really good friends. We became family friends and just built a relationship. And over a period of time, still, we're just praying. This is 7, 8, 9 months long. We're praying this prayer, God, what's next? And this relationship's happening. This is what God's doing this season. And then all of a sudden, she invites us over to her house for an adoption party. And so we go over there. We celebrate. She adopted Franklin. And we're celebrating that. And at the same time, it was there that I met her father, Scott Moore, who's the founder and CEO of Maple Street. And, and it was like the Lord just orchestrated all this, brought it all together. He kept us in Jacksonville for a season. We needed to be foster parents for these kids for a season. They needed a home, a safe place, but the Lord was also preparing our next steps and bringing the right people into our life so that we could make those connections. And so they gave us several options, 4 or 5 different cities that we could go to, and we prayed and we continued to pursue the Lord. And we just felt like ultimately that Charlotte and the Concord area in particular was a family community. And we really we didn't want to go to a tourist community where people be in and out. We wanted to build relationships with people. I think that's where ministry happens is through relationships. And so Concord just made sense for us, and that's where we've been.
Yeah. Well, shouts out. Ton of respect for those foster families and people that are doing that. So
you have to have a special mindset, heart open to that. I mean, not everyone's cut off for that.
For sure. My wife and I often joke about how that season sanctified us more than anything else. We realized we were more sinners than we realized we were beforehand. Like, it was just,
it was easier to let a couple words fly during that season, right?
For sure.
Going to that and talking about that, like, where are those kids at now? Are you still connected with them?
Yeah. So we, when we transitioned out of Florida, we had to go. Obviously they couldn't come here because I hate the phrase, but they were property of the state of Florida, and so they had to stay in the state. And so we were working through the Florida Baptist Children's Home, and so there was another family that was in part of that home. Strong That's believers, cool. Had 3 or 4 kids already that were their own biological, and so we were able to transition them into that house, and it ended up honestly being an even better situation for them because they were in a little cul-de-sac where there were like 12 other kids in the neighborhood, and they got to play and grow, and saw them kind of grow up. And cool. Just recently they moved in with grandparents, and still kind of FaceTime. They've got an older brother who's about 12 or 13 years old. I get to see. Cool. He's got a phone. Everybody has a phone. So, but he let me FaceTime the other day whenever little brother, the 2-year-old, who's now 4, had a birthday in November. Cool. And so, they're doing well. They're growing up and they're going to church. Praise the Lord.
Awesome. Very cool. I noticed one of the things that you guys did when you first opened up was open it up for foster families and things like that. So that's something that's instilled in the values of Maple Street.
Yeah, absolutely. So Maple Street has a mission to help people, serve others, and be a part of the community. And none of that has anything to do with food. Right? Like food is what we do, but it's not why we do it. We do what we do so that we can be a part of changing people's lives. And every community store is different. And so not every community store is going to serve their community the same way because the needs in every community are different. Yeah. And so because of that, they leave it up to the community leader to discern the needs of the community. But they also leave it up to the community leader to lead in ways that they're passionate about, right? And so obviously foster care is something that's dear to my heart and my family's heart. And so as we're excited to open up this new store, we want to from the very beginning say, hey, we're here to serve this community well. We have intentions for relationships, not transactions, right? And that's what we're here for. And so because of that, as I was just praying and processing through, what can we do what could be our first hoorah to start that off with? We started thinking about just how the Lord brought me here and how foster care played such a special part of that. And so I reached out to Thompson Children and Family Home Services and reached out to them and said, hey, I just kind of told them my story and Maple Street's story and said, I really just want the first meals we serve to be free, and I want them to be to foster families, and I want them to hear my heart and to hear them just know that there's a community store in their community that loves them, that is for them, that has walked that journey and is willing to walk it with them if they need help. And so we were able to do that. We got to serve, I think, 40, 50 guests, and it was just a sweet time. So,
yeah, that's really cool. One of the things I love about your store, talking about serving people and just being part of the community, is you have a giant community table. Yeah. And most of your tables are just really long where you have to elbow up against somebody and talk to somebody. And I may have been there once or, 15 times. And, like rubbing elbows with people, like you get to hear their stories and you talk to people. And at first, like you think it's awkward, like, cause I'm the introvert, I don't want to talk or whatever. Right. But then you start hearing their stories and you start talking. And then by the end of the time we leave, like half the time I'm like, all right, buddy, giving high fives, hugs, all that kind of stuff. But I love that about the store is just, it brings people together. Yeah.
And that's the way it's designed to be. Every single one of our stores has a 8-foot round circle table, community table. We've also got one that's long that seats 14. I only have 2 2-seaters in my entire store, and I'm trying to get rid of them. Like I want to build like bench high, like coffee table, like where like 6 people just sit side by side and have conversations. We really want to build relationships. We think that relationships matter, and we live in a day and age where people are so disconnected that we really want to be able to provide a space in our community for people to be able to get to know one another. People that maybe they didn't know, or maybe they wouldn't have taken an opportunity to get to know had they had the option to just sit at a 2-seater or a 4-seater. Yeah. And so because of that, we really are intentional about that. But also, I mean, every day, Monday through Saturday, we're open. Our team gets there at 6 a.m. We open and start selling food at 7. Wow. But at 6 a.m., we actually give our coffee out for free for that whole first hour for people that are doing like Bible studies or business meetings, or they're just trying to come get their mind right for the day, right? They got a busy day ahead of them.
I'll see you tomorrow at 6.
Come on, my man. So we just really want to be able to be a place and provide a space for our community to gather.
Very cool.
Yeah. It seems like the more connected we are, like, you know, the technology and social medias and things like that, the more disconnected we are with actual human interaction.
Yeah.
So,
and it's odd that it's taking, and I don't want to say fast food because you guys aren't, but it's like, you know,
fast casual.
Yeah.
Fast casual restaurants like Chick-fil-A, you know, does the put your phone away, we'll give you free dessert or something like that.
They do that?
Yeah.
Where have I been on this?
Ask them for like a little box. They'll give you a paper box.
Oh, really?
It's great.
Put your phone in, get free dessert. But it's you know, getting people disconnected from their phone so that they can reconnect with people.
Yeah.
It's sad almost in a way that that's where we're at. But you know, kudos to those companies that are doing that.
Yeah, just in the last week, I haven't like deleted my Facebook, but I think I don't remember what it's called. Basically, I've deactivated it, right?
Yeah.
And it's been the greatest week of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't need it.
Yeah.
But I think I do, right? Like I get in an awkward moment where I don't know somebody, rather than talking to them at the bank, I'd rather just pull my phone out and scroll through the same 13 pictures I've already seen, right?
Yeah. Right.
But I don't need that, and so do that.
If it wasn't for the stupid podcast, I would just get rid of my smartphone and just get the Razor flip phone and go back to that. Because oh my gosh,
I've got a friend that tried to do that. It costs more than a smartphone right now.
It really does, and that's sad. Good, nice, because they know.
But you talk about it's not just about the transaction, but it is actually about the transaction, because relationships are transactional. That's how you form them.
Right.
If someone has something you need, it's either a friendship or a voice or an ear or a shoulder to lean on, you're looking for that transaction.
Right.
So it's just another different type of transaction that may not involve dollars.
Yeah, transaction through the gift of service rather than through the exchange of money and currency, right? Like we're not there for transactional purposes, we're there for relational purposes. But yes, in the transaction of a relationship, 100%.
Yeah, but money's also nice to pay the bills.
It becomes a unnecessary evil.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
We're supposed to be in the world, not of the world, but you gotta pay your bills still too, right?
For sure.
So let's talk about the business. This is what I need you to do, though, legitimately. To prevent me from cussing so much, can you figure out a way to make that parking lot a little bit better? Because that thing has owned me. Every time I pull up and I'm at the stoplight, I'm already looking for a parking space.
Imagine driving my truck and trying to park in there.
You need to park across the street at Lidl and walk over. Is what you need to do.
I have to park at the Concord Mills and get an Uber. So
I've seen people literally park at Kohl's and walk over.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sorry, guys. Especially on Saturdays, it's nuts.
Oh yeah.
No, for sure.
When I go in there, I mean, it is packed, and rightfully so, because I love the food. I'm a big one. And here's the problem, though. I'm trying to do better for January, so I'm like, crap. That's the one thing I got to give away. So hopefully I'll come in for a salad.
Right.
Something semi-healthy.
I've already told you I've already mastered the keto biscuit. So we'll do that.
Can you do some keto biscuits?
We'll bring them in there for you, and then you can kind of.
I refuse to do a keto biscuit.
I have respect for a man that refuses to do a keto biscuit.
I love biscuits. Trust me. It's one of those dreams of sitting in a bathtub just smothered in biscuits. You know.
My wife made so many this past weekend for my birthday party.
Yeah.
We could still.
Those were good.
We could fit that. Make that happen.
Yeah.
Put you in a tub.
Those were good. Was that a recipe? Was that homemade?
Oh no, those were frozen.
Oh, well, they were pretty good.
Yeah, but not as good as Maple Street. So tell us a little bit about what your food is.
Yeah.
And things like that.
So we've got 4 principles, right? And the very first one is comfort food with a modern twist that's made consistently. And so we're in the South. You know, comfort food is biscuits and gravy, chicken. Everybody's had a chicken biscuit, right? But you haven't had a chicken biscuit with fried goat cheese medallion, sweet house-made pepper jelly on top of it. You got to go to Maple Street to get that, right? So that's important for us, is to be able to have that come through with a modern twist to it.
It looks familiar but different.
Exactly. Yeah. And so familiar enough for you to say, let's go check that out. And then, different enough for you to go, yeah, that's the only place I can go to get that. I want that.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so you've done that. You've got this biscuit French toast thing going on.
Yep.
I every time I say I'm going to get it, but then I always chicken out and I get the fried chicken biscuit, and I never do. But tell us about that.
So the biscuit Frenchie, it may actually be pronounced Frenchy, but when I've got to yell it back to the grill to drop it, I'm not able to get the accent and high enough.
As long as you do that, you're all right.
No, but the biscuit Frenchie, we take our iced cinnamon biscuit, which has Hershey cinnamon chips inside of the biscuit, which is phenomenal. I didn't know Hershey cinnamon chips were a thing.
I didn't either.
I'm going to the store now.
Mind blowing.
Good luck. Good luck finding them at the store, man.
Amazon.
Yeah, there you go. But we take that biscuit and we dip it in our house-made French toast batter. We throw it on the grill, and then we top it with strawberries, whipped cream, and a side of maple syrup. And I'll tell you what, I didn't grow up with French toast. Honestly, I grew up in New Orleans. I didn't grow up with biscuits and gravy. Mm-hmm. But our French toast, it is so good. My team took about 2 or 3 months to try because they were trying all the other great things on the menu, right? And then they got to that and they were like, wow. This is good. Yeah. Because I've got several people that especially on Saturday, a lot of our young ladies that work, our high school students that work for us. That's the only thing they'll get.
Sounds like you need to have Wilford Brimley as your spokesperson for the diabetes.
The sugars.
The sugars. It killed me, mama. Yeah.
And it's packed. You guys are I'll go in and I'll think, hey, this will be a weird time that nobody goes. But no, it's always packed. And I'm so thankful for that because, I want you guys to succeed. You guys came from Jacksonville. We went to the original Maple Street, and then my dad got connected to the one in Mandarin, and just love you guys. And then when we were here, we're like, holy cow. Yeah. But I want you guys to succeed. Yeah. One, because your food is fantastic. I'll never lose weight because of it. But then two, your heart and your passion just comes out, even just being there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's the thing. The people on my team, I'm so blessed. I have a great team, right? And they love serving people well, and they love to serve people. The majority of my team, really and truly, they want to serve and be the hands and feet of Christ, right? And so they see it that way. They have that mindset. The majority of my team, and so it's just a joy to go to work and to work together and serve our community.
Yeah. So let's be honest. You guys are the A team, and then Chick-fil-A is the B team, right?
I'm not going to comment on
that. There's very few times where I've been there and somebody hasn't come in to check in to say, hey, what can we get you? What we can do for you?
Yeah.
And so that's been really nice, too, just to see that service in action.
Yeah. Part of my role as a community leader is really and truly to spend about 80 to 90% of my day on the floor with our guests. Because if I'm not with the community, how can I know the needs of the community? How can we figure out what the community needs are? And so because of that, my role is to sit there and check in, what's going on with, how's your meal, how is everything, but also how's your life, what's going on in your heart, how's your day going, how's your week going? And there's been times where the Lord has provided opportunities for me to get to pray with guests and then also getting a follow up when you have those regular guests, hey, I remember we talked about that a few weeks ago, how's that going now? That's been really cool too.
Very cool.
I guess Maple Street was founded in Jacksonville?
Yes. Okay,
so I guess get a little context for that, because I'm not aware. I mean, I know that you guys are growing.
Yeah.
But how did it really start? And
it's a great story. So we've got Mr. Scott and Mr. Gus. Mr. Scott, I hope he doesn't hear this. I think he's in his 60s. I don't know. I could be wrong. If you're not, I'm sorry, Mr. Scott. Gus is a younger guy. Mr. Scott's been in the business world for a while and been done well, right? And Gus is a young guy. He's got 2 or 3 kids. He's got another on the way. He does construction, and then the market crashes, and so he's out of a job. Mr. Scott, I believe, was working with Winn-Dixie, and he ended up they got bought out, and he had the opportunity of basically being able to have the same job, but instead of being over a lot of people, being over a few people, and making the same, if not more money, because there was a new company that had taken him over. So I just had a lot of opportunities there, but he's like, I really don't want to coast into glory. And so Scott and Gus go to the same church, And so Scott's thinking, I don't want to coast in glory. This is my last season of life. Scott is actually discipling Mr. Gus. And so they are meeting weekly. And Gus, being a young guy with kids and no job, saying, what do I do? Mr. Scott, being an older businessman, has like 5 ideas in his back pocket. And one of those was biscuits and gravy. And he mentioned it to Gus. And Gus came back the next week and said, hey, I really want to run with that biscuits and gravy idea. And so Scott, not really thinking that would ever be a good idea. Like, it was an idea, but never really wanted to see it, necessarily come to fruition. He said, well, here's the deal. Go home, pray with your wife, and come back next week, and if she's on board, we'll do it. And he said this literally thinking that she would never be on board. Mm-hmm. He comes back the next week, and he's like, yeah, she's gung-ho. We're on board. And so he's like, man, I made a deal. Now I got to do it. And so they basically decided to open up the first store in San Marco. And the idea was that Gus would be the community leader there, and it would be a one store, that was it. And Scott was going to be in the picture for about 6 months to help kind of establish Gus and Maple Street in the community of San Marco. And then Mr. Scott was going to go do something else and let Gus just be able to provide for his family in a good way. About a week or two in, they realized that this was something bigger than just a one store, that this was an opportunity for them to make an impact that would outlive them. And so they called a few friends that they had worked with and got some more help and started quickly trying to figure out how do we scale this. And then one of the things they did early on is they actually opened up a store in Tennessee. Within about the first year and a half, Mr. Scott had a family friend who, similar situation, lost his job, didn't really know what to do, was interested in this idea of Maple Street Biscuit Company, and he's a strong leader. So Mr. Scott trusted him, and so he sent him. They started a store in Tennessee, and it opened up, and it was slow at first because it was a new market. It was very different, but it's grown, and it's one of our better stores now. And so, and so very quickly they just realized this was something that had a chance, that had life. And so in November we celebrated 6 years. So we've got 31 stores now, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, very cool.
As a former restaurateur, it's just hard to keep, for business-wise, dollars-wise, to do a breakfast and lunch only type of business. Yeah. So that's tough. And also you guys are not in the cheap rent districts either, so.
Yeah, we, it's important for us to have quality, right? And people are blown away when they realize how much of our stuff is truly made from scratch. We have no... add water and milk to this and it'll fluff up and be pretty, right? It is, take bare ingredients, throw them together, work hard all day long. And we constantly have somebody who's making things fresh from scratch. And so, and that adds up too, right? It'd be cheaper to do a water biscuit mix, right? It would be. Yeah,
but you may not have people coming 2 or 3 days a week either.
True. And so, but we think it's worth it. And so, our prices, people are like $9 for a biscuit sandwich. Time out. You're about to get a flaky biscuit that by itself is 2.5 inches tall, a 4-ounce piece of chicken that's all natural and fried in a really good batter, melted cheddar cheese, house-made from scratch sausage gravy that's got thick chunks of sausage in it,
and shiitake mushrooms.
And shiitake mushroom for our vegetarians.
All you got to do is say, shut up. You won't be eating for lunch anyway. So
right,
$9.
Exactly. Yeah, cornwood smoked bacon, throw an egg on top of it. This is enough to fill you up all day.
Yeah.
And it's enough calories for all day, too.
Yeah, unfortunately. Awesome. What's been one of your greatest, I don't want to say memories, but a really powerful moment where you've been at the store and God's really moved, or something that's moved in your heart?
Yeah. This past Thanksgiving, we every day we have a young lady named Maya that started an organization called Need Meters Charlotte, and she has found a homeless community that she serves. She actually goes into the woods and has found a tent city where some just homeless neighbors in Charlotte have set up shop, and this is their home. And so she's goes to them every day. She picks up some of our biscuits that are left over from the day before, and she brings them some biscuits. And so, but we wanted to bring them in. We're trying to figure out what could we do. How could we we can do more and we can do better than just giving them leftover day-old biscuits. Like they're creating the image of God. They're worth more than that, 100%. Sure. And so we're talking with her, and we've got this idea of, hey, let's do Thanksgiving. Like, give them a full-on Thanksgiving meal. And so we worked with like 5 or 6 other churches, and then I think Need Meters and maybe one other organization, and we all just worked like for about a month. And we had a lot of donations from local grocery stores and different things, and restaurants as well. And we ended up, I think, busting in about 45 of our homeless neighbor guests. And then we also had about 40 or 50 volunteers. Mm. It was literally one-to-one interaction. We just got to have people sit around a table and say, hey, what's your story? Right? Yeah. And that's what Maple Street's about, right?
Yeah.
And we got to give them the Maple Street guest experience. And they got way better food. Like, our food's really good at the store. But they've got, our team, and I love the fact that my team was excited to roast some turkeys, right? Like to mashed potatoes and yams and everything from scratch. And like, after they had worked a 12-hour day, they're like, all right, now we have to close shop and really have some fun, right? Like, wow. And that was just a really sweet moment where we had a picture wall or one of those, like, where you could, like, there's a backdrop, and we let them take pictures, and we printed, it printed immediately, and so they were able to take these pictures, and it was just a cool moment where
that's awesome. I
got to see the church come together and be the church and serve in a unique way. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Awesome. So if people want to come by and stop at the store, how can they experience and become a Maple Street guest?
Yeah, so we're open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 2 o'clock, and our address is 8921 Christenberry Parkway, Concord, North Carolina, 28027. We're across the street from the new Lidl, whatever it's pronounced, near the Bad Daddy's Burgers, just in that section right before...
where the Earth Fair is.
Yeah.
With the $18 asparagus infused water.
You said it, not me.
But also they can go to the website and find the other locations nearest to them too.
Yeah,
also,
yeah, absolutely.
That's what maplestreetbiscuit.com, I guess.
Maplestreetbiscuits.com. Yeah, we've got, I think, like 18 stores in Florida. 4 or 5 in Georgia, 2 in South Carolina. We've got 1 here in North Carolina, but that's as of right now. We've got more in the pipeline for sure.
Yeah. Is there going to be another one close by?
Yeah, we wanted to open up one down in South Park, and we've just had some issues with the permitting process. I think they may end up continuing to pursue that one. Who knows?
I'm just going to say downtown Concord might need one. I'm just saying. With a bigger parking lot.
Just do delivery.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Just Uber Eat it.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Love your heart and love the company's art. So
thank you, guys. I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Be blessed.
All right, so Chris, thanks again for coming on. Listen, I got to be honest with you all. If you're in the Concord area, or if you're in any one of the close to the 31 stores of Maple Street Biscuit, do yourself a favor this Christmas holiday. Leave your family and just immediately stop what you're doing and go get a Maple Street Biscuit, because they not only do they have biscuits, but they have chicken, they've got salads. My mother-in-law eats the salads. So many wonderful things. Right. It's delicious, and their coffee's good too. So
and they also have like a variation of cold teas and hot teas, I think, too.
Yeah.
So
it's
just a unique concept.
Yep.
And it's kind of fun. And also knowing some of the story now, you kind of want to give back to them.
Yeah,
so.
No doubt. All right, so that wraps up the show here.
Yeah, we appreciate you tuning in as always. Please go to our iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or the Spotify. You can find us there at Southern Fried Philosophy or SFP Radio. Give us a subscribe, a like, a review would be awesome. We'd really appreciate that. And thanks for everyone who's tuning in via those apps. You can go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. You can also find us at Facebook, Southern Fried Philosophy, the Twitters and Instagram at SFP Radio, patreon.com/SFP Radio, and also our YouTube at youtube.com/SFP Radio. As always, guys, we really appreciate you listening to us on your drive home, ride, bathroom break, whatever.
There you go. And as always, keep looking up. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We will be off for 2 weeks, and then we will be back ready to go. Enjoy your holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year from the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast.
See you next year.